The Shield Professional Wrestling.
The Shield is a professional wrestling stable in WWE, consisting of Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. The group debuted on November 18, 2012 at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, and later declared their intention to fight what they perceive as injustice. They are known for their black ring attire, most notably their protective vests, their tendency to approach the ring through the live audience, and their trademark promos, which are recorded from a first-person perspective using a handheld camcorder. Their gimmick is that of a stable that possesses excellent teamwork and a willingness to sacrifice themselves for the good of the stable, and which achieves victories by overwhelming opponents with superior numbers after incapacitating their teammates.
History. Mercenaries for CM Punk 2012 to 2013.
The group debuted on November 18, 2012 at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, when the debuting Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns interfered in the main event, a triple threat match between CM Punk, John Cena, and Ryback for the WWE Championship. They powerbombed Ryback through the announcer's table, allowing Punk to pin Cena to win the match and retain his title. The next night on Raw, the group identified themselves as The Shield, and vowed to rally against injustice. Despite claiming that they were not working for CM Punk or Paul Heyman, over the next few weeks, on both Raw and SmackDown, they would routinely emerge from the crowd to attack Punk's adversaries such as Ryback, The Miz, and WWE Tag Team Champions Team Hell No, Kane and Daniel Bryan. They also attacked Randy Orton after he defeated Brad Maddox. Maddox was the referee who helped Punk defeat Ryback during their Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship. This led to their debut match at the TLC pay-per-view, where they faced Ryback and Team Hell No in a tables, ladders, and chairs match and emerged victorious. After TLC, despite continuing to attack Punk's and Maddox's adversaries such as Ric Flair, Brodus Clay, and Sheamus, the Shield soon expanded their ambushes to other wrestlers, such as Mick Foley, Tommy Dreamer and Ricardo Rodriguez. The Shield's attacks were also used to write off wrestlers from television via injury angles, such as Randy Orton and Sin Cara, who were already suffering from legitimate injuries. During the second January 2013 NXT, which was taped on December 6, 2012, the Shield made their first appearance in NXT. Though Rollins and Reigns had already wrestled there before and Rollins was the inaugural NXT champion. Rollins defended his title against Corey Graves. As Graves was about to win the match, Ambrose and Reigns attacked him to cause a disqualification so that Rollins retained his title. The Shield then fended off the entire NXT locker room but retreated from Big E Langston. On the 9th January NXT taped on the same date as the previous episode, Rollins faced Langston in a no disqualification title match. The NXT locker room neutralized the other Shield members, and Langston defeated Rollins to win the title. On the 7th January Raw, the Shield once again aided CM Punk by attacking Ryback during their tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Championship, which resulted in Punk retaining his title. On January 21, during the last Raw before the 2013 Royal Rumble, the Shield triple powerbombed The Rock, Punk's WWE Championship contender at the event, resulting in Vince McMahon declaring that their interference in the title match would result in Punk being stripped of the title. 4 days later on SmackDown, Punk denied an alliance with the Shield before calling them out and informing them that he did not want them to interfere in his upcoming title match. However, during Punk's title match at the Royal Rumble, a blackout occurred and The Rock was attacked by the Shield in the darkness, leading to Punk pinning The Rock and retaining his title. The match was later restarted by McMahon with The Rock winning the WWE Championship. The following night on Raw, it was revealed through footage played by Vince McMahon that Punk's manager Paul Heyman had been paying the Shield and Brad Maddox to work for him all along.
Undefeated Streak 2013.
Also on the January 28, 2013 Raw, the Shield attacked John Cena. Sheamus and Ryback were also beaten down when they attempted to save Cena. The next week on Raw, while calling out the Shield, Maddox revealed that he was the one who had given McMahon the footage showing that they were working for He-Man. The Shield then attacked Maddox, but were forced to retreat due to an attack by Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus. The Shield justified their attacks due to a decade of injustice caused by Cena creating an environment where any wrestler would not face consequences for his actions, and whose mentality they felt had spread to other wrestlers like Ryback and Sheamus. This set up a six-man tag team match on February 17 at Elimination Chamber, which the Shield won. The Shield had their first Raw match the following night, when they defeated the team of Ryback, Sheamus, and Chris Jericho. Sheamus then formed an alliance with Randy Orton to battle the Shield. On the first March SmackDown, while attacking Orton during his match with Big Show, the Shield inadvertently provoked Show into attacking them. The Shield thus started a feud with Show as well. On the 11th March Raw, the Shield's first singles match occurred when Rollins faced Show. Show won via disqualification as Ambrose and Reigns interfered and beat him down. Despite twice helping Orton and Sheamus to fend off the Shield, Show on both occasions turned on the duo immediately afterwards. The Shield then challenged Orton and Sheamus to find a partner and have a match with them at WrestleMania 29. Show volunteered, but Orton and Sheamus chose Ryback as their partner. Meanwhile, Mark Henry's distraction of Ryback resulted in the Shield conducting a successful assault on Ryback, resulting in Ryback being inserted into a WrestleMania match against Henry. Without a partner, Orton and Sheamus eventually accepted Show's offer to take on a common enemy despite their mistrust of him. On April 7 at WrestleMania 29, the Shield took advantage of their opponents' inability to work together to win in their WrestleMania debut. The following night on the April 8 episode of Raw, the group attempted to attack The Undertaker, but were ultimately forced to retreat by Team Hell No. On the 22nd April Raw, the Shield faced and defeated the combination of the Brothers of Destruction and Team Hell No, Undertaker, Kane and Bryan. 4 days later on SmackDown, Ambrose made his singles debut against Undertaker, but lost via submission. After the match, the Shield attacked Undertaker and triple powerbombed him through the announcer's table. 3 days later on Raw, the Shield defeated Team Hell No and WWE Champion John Cena in a six-man tag team match with Reigns pinning Cena for the win. Ambrose then started a feud with WWE United States Champion Kofi Kingston after pinning him in a six-man tag team match also involving the Usos. On the 13th May Raw, the Shield's undefeated streak in televised six-man tag team matches ended in a disqualification loss in an elimination match against Cena, Kane and Bryan. With Kane and Bryan eliminated, Cena pinned Rollins and then Reigns was disqualified. Ambrose was disqualified when Reigns and Rollins attacked Cena.
Championship reigns. Triple H's Enforcers 2013.
On May 19 at Extreme Rules, Ambrose defeated Kofi Kingston to become the new United States Champion. Later that night, Rollins and Reigns defeated Team Hell No to become the WWE Tag Team Champions. Ambrose faced Kingston on the 24th May SmackDown in a rematch for the title, and retained when Reigns and Rollins interfered causing a disqualification. Ambrose defeated Kingston in yet another rematch for the title 3 days later on Raw. That same night, Rollins and Reigns retained their tag titles in a rematch for the titles against Team Hell No. On the 14th June SmackDown, the Shield's unpinned unsubmitted streak in televised six-man tag team matches came to an end at the hands of Team Hell No and Randy Orton, when Daniel Bryan submitted Rollins. 3 days later at WWE Payback, Ambrose defeated Kane via countout to retain the United States Championship while Reigns and Rollins defeated Bryan and Orton to retain their tag team titles. The following night on Raw, Ambrose had a title rematch against Kane and once again retained after Reigns and Rollins interfered and Ambrose was disqualified. After the Shield attacked Christian and the Usos became the #1 contender to the WWE Tag Team Championships, the Shield were defeated by them in a six-man tag match on the 28th June SmackDown. On July 14, during the Money in the Bank pre-show, Reigns and Rollins defeated the Usos to retain the WWE Tag Team Championship. Later on in the pay-per-view, They interfered in Ambrose's World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank ladder match, but the Usos in turn attacked Reigns and Rollins, and Ambrose failed to win the match. The Shield then began a feud with Mark Henry, defeating Henry and the Usos in 2 six-man tag team matches, but losing to the team of Henry, Big Show and Rob Van Dam. Ambrose retained his championship via disqualification against Van Dam at the SummerSlam kickoff show. The following night on the 19th August Raw, the Shield began working for Chief Operating Officer Triple H. They would aid WWE Champion and the face of the WWE Randy Orton against his #1 contender, Daniel Bryan, while also attacking wrestlers like Big Show and Dolph Ziggler for speaking out against Triple H's regime. At Night of Champions, the Shield enjoyed successful title defenses when Ambrose defeated Ziggler while Reigns and Rollins defeated the Primetime Players. At WWE Battleground, a fired Cody Rhodes and Goldust earned their jobs back by beating Rollins and Reigns in a non-title match. On the 14th October Raw, Rollins and Reigns faced the Rhodes brothers again with the tag titles on the line in a no disqualification match. The Shield lost the tag titles after an attack by Big Show. 2 days later on Main Event, Ambrose successfully retained his title against Ziggler.
Cracks in the Shield 2013 to 2014.
The first seeds of dissension were sown in the Shield with Ambrose's boasting of being the only member left with the championship, but from then on Ambrose was frequently pinned during the Shield's matches. At Survivor Series, the Shield teamed with the Real Americans, Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro, to beat the team of Rey Mysterio, the Rhodes brothers and the Usos. Ambrose was the first man eliminated. Rollins, with 1 elimination, was the 4th man eliminated for his team, and Reigns was the sole survivor after eliminating 4 opponents. Next, CM Punk's criticism of Triple H earned him an attack by the Shield, but Punk tasted revenge at TLC, tables, ladders and chairs when he overcame the Shield in a handicap match after Ambrose received a Reigns spear aimed for Punk. Going into 2014, Punk's taunts increased tension between the Shield members, and Reigns emerged as the only Shield member to defeat Punk in a singles match, albeit with Ambrose's interference. All 3 members of the Shield competed in the 2014 Royal Rumble match. Late in the match, Ambrose tried to eliminate Reigns, who retaliated by eliminating both Ambrose and Rollins. Reigns eventually finished as runner-up in the match while setting a new record for most eliminations in a single Rumble with 12. Ambrose and Rollins scored 3 eliminations each, and Rollins spent the second longest amount of time in the match. On the next Raw on January 27, 2014, the Shield faced Daniel Bryan, Sheamus and John Cena for the chance to enter the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and were denied that opportunity when the Wyatt family attacked their opponents, causing the Shield to lose via disqualification. The Shield vowed revenge, so a match was set up between them and the Wyatt family at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. On the 10th February episode of Raw, Ambrose's open challenge for his title was answered by Mark Henry, in which Ambrose only retained his title upon disqualification due to the Shield's interference. Reigns continued his tension with Ambrose by defeating Henry without interference on the next Raw. With both the Shield and the Wyatt family being heel, villainous, teams, WWE positioned the Shield as the team the audience should root for when the Shield was willing to engage in a confrontation with the Wyatt family, which retreated instead. At the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, the Shield lost to the Wyatt family. During the match, Ambrose and Bray Wyatt brawled into the crowd, but Wyatt returned to the ring with no sign of Ambrose, which caused Rollins and Reigns to be outnumbered and overwhelmed. On the March 3 Raw, the Shield lost a rematch with the Wyatt family when the Shield's poor teamwork led to Rollins walking out during the match. Rollins claimed that he had enough of being the glue holding the group together.
Rebellion Against Authority 2014 present.
On the March 7 SmackDown, the members of the Shield met in the ring to clear the air on their disharmony. Rollins said that his actions achieved his purpose of getting Ambrose and Reigns to finally see eye to eye. After Ambrose and Rollins hit each other, the trio reconciled. The Shield's next feud was against Kane, who was now acting as Director of Operations for the Authority. Kane had ordered the Shield to attack commentator Jerry Lawler on the March 17 episode of Raw, however the Shield attacked Kane instead, thus turning face, assuming heroic characters. In retaliation, Kane and the New Age Outlaws attacked the Shield on the March 21 episode of SmackDown while the group was already being double-teamed by Ryback and Curtis Axel, and the Real Americans after an inconclusive fatal four-way match meant to determine the contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championship. This set up a match pitting the Shield against Kane and the Outlaws at WrestleMania XXX, which the Shield won quickly and decisively. The next night on the post-WrestleMania Raw, Kane inadvertently revealed that Triple H masterminded the attack on the Shield on the previous month's SmackDown. As a result, when Triple H faced WWE World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan in a title match after Bryan was attacked by Kane, Randy Orton and Batista, the Shield interrupted the match to turn on Triple H, chasing the other wrestlers away to protect Bryan. On the April 8 episode of Main Event, the Shield finally defeated the Wyatt family in a six-man tag team match. 3 days later, the Shield would again save Bryan from Kane, Randy Orton, and Batista, by giving a triple powerbomb to Kane. On the April 14 episode of Raw, after they had ambushed Batista and Randy Orton earlier in the night, the Shield were forced to face 11 other wrestlers in an 11-on-3 handicap match, which ended in a no contest after descending into a brawl in which the Shield members were outnumbered and beaten down by their opponents. They were then further attacked by Triple H, Orton and Batista, who reformed the group Evolution. 4 days later on SmackDown, Triple H would announce that the Shield would be competing in a six-man tag team match against Evolution at Extreme Rules. In retaliation, the Shield would assault Jack Swagger, 3 Megabytes, Fandango, Curtis Axel, and even Raw General Manager Brad Maddox before winning a 5-on-3 handicap match against Ryback, Bad News Barrett, Titus O'Neil, Damian Sandow and Alberto Del Rio a week later on SmackDown. It was initially supposed to be another 11-on-3 match, but the Shield had attacked their opponents throughout the show to whittle down the opposition. The Shield would go on to defeat Evolution at Extreme Rules. The next night on Raw, Triple H would force Ambrose to defend his United States Championship against 19 other wrestlers in a 20-man battle royal, which Ambrose was eliminated last by Sheamus, ending Ambrose's WWE record reign at 351 days. Triple H would then book the Shield to compete in a six-man tag team match against the Wyatt family, which the group lost with a distraction by Evolution, who proceeded to assault the Shield.
In wrestling.
Triple team finishing moves. Triple powerbomb, sometimes through a table. Triple powerbomb, sometimes through a table. Double team finishing moves. Backbreaker rack, Reigns, / diving knee drop, Rollins, combination, turnbuckle powerbomb, Rollins, followed by a spear, Reigns. Backbreaker rack, Reigns, / diving knee drop, Rollins, combination, turnbuckle powerbomb, Rollins, followed by a spear, Reigns. Double team signature moves. Bow and arrow stretch, Ambrose, / diving knee drop, Rollins, combination, running front dropkick, Ambrose, to an opponent against the ropes followed by a running single leg dropkick, Rollins. Reigns Irish whips Rollins into a running forearm smash to the cornered opponent followed by Rollins Irish whipping the opponent into a leaping clothesline from Reigns. Stereo suicide dive, Ambrose and Rollins, wishbone split, bow and arrow stretch, Ambrose, / diving knee drop, Rollins, combination, running front dropkick, Ambrose, to an opponent against the ropes followed by a running single leg dropkick, Rollins. Reigns Irish whips Rollins into a running forearm smash to the cornered opponent followed by Rollins Irish whipping the opponent into a leaping clothesline from Reigns. Stereo suicide dive, Ambrose and Rollins, wishbone split, Ambrose's finishing moves. Dirty Deeds, headlock driver, Dirty Deeds, headlock driver, Rollins finishing moves. Blackout / peace of mind, running pushing stomp to the head of a bent over opponent, diving or a springboard high knee, blackout / peace of mind, running pushing stomp to the head of a bent-over opponent, diving or a springboard high knee, Reigns finishing moves. Spear, spear, nicknames. The Hounds of Justice, the Hounds of Justice, entrance themes. Special op by Jim Johnston, December 16, 2012 present. Special op by Jim Johnston, December 16, 2012 present.
Championships and accomplishments.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated. PWI ranked Ambrose number 26 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2013. PWI ranked Rollins number 35 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2013. PWI ranked Reigns number 39 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2013. PWI Tag Team of the Year, 2013, Rollins and Reigns. PWI ranked Ambrose number 26 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2013. PWI ranked Rollins number 35 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2013. PWI ranked Reigns number 39 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2013. PWI Tag Team of the Year, 2013, Rollins and Reigns. WWE NXT. NXT Championship, one time, inaugural, Rollins. NXT Championship, one time, inaugural, Rollins. WWE. WWE Tag Team Championship, one time, Rollins and Reigns. WWE United States Championship, one time, Ambrose. Slammy Award for What a Maneuver of the Year, 2013, Reigns. For the Spear, Slammy Award for Faction of the Year, 2013, Slammy Award for Trending Now Hashtag of the Year, 2013, Believe in the Shield, Slammy Award for Breakout Star of the Year, 2013, WWE Tag Team Championship, one time, Rollins and Reigns. WWE United States Championship, one time, Ambrose. Slammy Award for What a Maneuver of the Year, 2013, Reigns. For the Spear, Slammy Award for Faction of the Year, 2013, Slammy Award for Trending Now Hashtag of the Year, 2013, Believe in the Shield, Slammy Award for Breakout Star of the Year, 2013, Wrestling Observer Newsletter. Most Improved, 2013, Reigns. Tag Team of the Year, 2013, Reigns and Rollins. Most Improved, 2013, Reigns. Tag Team of the Year, 2013, Reigns